Hey, you dirty dogs. So I want you to take a look at George Bush's birthday, 7/6/1946. And look how it lines up to January 9th, 2023. 279, which we know is the life path number for 2023, and 46. And he was born in 1946. And we know that currency equals 27. But that's 187 days after his birthday. And he was born on the 187th day of the year. Now, if you go to 2023, his birthday is 178 days later, and he was born on a day leaving 178 days. So if this thing is connected to the Bush, then I'm watching for 1/9/2023. Now, look at the connection with 1/9/2023. That day is the national championship with the Georgia Bulldogs, kind of like George Bush, and TCU, the Horned Frogs, Texas Christian University, Texas connection. And there was a solar eclipse on 10/25/2022, and that's exactly 76 days to January 9th, the national championship. And we know Bush is 76 years old. Now, here's another thing that's crazy, is that solar eclipse was a day leaving 67 days left in the year. And it's 76 days to the national championship. And Bush is 76, Trump is 76. So this would be a really good day for this to go down on the national championship day. Just for shits and giggles, there is something called a bush frog, as you can see here. Kind of like the Texas Christian University, the Horned Frogs. So far as Bush is concerned, that might be a good day for the Iraq Dinar to revalue on the national championship day. Now, something else, I just started connecting the dots, and I've got a whole colossal of information. I'm just going to read it off, okay? Astros, Cowboys, Georgia Bulldogs, George Bush connected to it all. That's 76. The last solar eclipse happened on a day leaving 67 days left in the year and was 76 days to the national championship. 7, the number of spirit. 6, the number of man. 6 is carbon and 7 is God's number. Astros clinched the playoff spot when Bush was 76 years old, 76 days old. They ended up winning the World Series. And Bush will be 76 years, 7 months, and 6 days old on Super Bowl 57, which I think is going to be a Texas connection with the Cowboys. The Guidestones went down on his 76th birthday on 7/6. So, will TCU be a part of this Texas ritual? They're currently on 677 all-time wins. Just like that 76, 6, 7, 6 the number of man, 7 the number of spirit. I saw this Texas ritual before the season and thought it would be Texas A&M. Y'all all have seen my predictions on Texas A&M. But this is biblical. Texas Christian University. This will be a crazy year. Ex-TCU player Jeff Gladney died on May 30th, 2022, exactly 32 weeks to the national championship on January 9th. 131 equals championship, and 131 is the 32nd prime, just like he died exactly 32 weeks to the national championship. And here they are in the national championship. TCU can get their 561st all-time loss, which is the 33rd triangular. That makes me think that number 33 was one of the only ones on the field that didn't kneel during when Damar Hamlin collapsed and rose again 3 days later. Collapsed equals 33 and 156. We know 9/11 is the 156th prime. Jesus lived a perfect 33 years and was crucified for our sins. All the world of sports, media, and movies blaspheme that with hidden messages, and some right in our face. It all connects to Jesus being the Rock, and it just so happens that I have the prediction that the Rock dies on February 8th. Another blasphemy ritual for the Super Bowl. If the Rock dies on the 39th day of the year, I have the Cowboys getting their 39th win in the playoffs. We'll see what happens there. Jeff Gladney's birthday is exactly 337 days after the national championship. Now, a connection there with that 337 is something that I've been putting out there. I put it out before the World Cup. That number 46, Biden, birthday, was exactly 337 days from the World Cup. That ended 4-6. And Argentina is now 7-3-3 versus France. And France is 3-7-3 versus Argentina. The Michigan Wolverines were just now on 373 losses when they played the TCU Horned Frogs, and they lost. Now they're on 374. I've told everybody 74 is what I saw with the Astros, and I'm seeing 74 now with Michigan. If you do some work, number 13 and 74 are at play in our universal matrix. Jesus equals 74. Everything right now is biblical, and 733 is the 130th prime. So there's your 13. And I put out a video with all the 13 connections. It was actually 13 years since Argentina had actually beaten France. So 373 is also the 74th prime, which is the record of France versus Argentina now. So there is your connections. It is crazy. All the different things that are going on right now. So we're going to see what happens. And what I don't get is I've been on these 733, 373, and I haven't seen anybody else coding this stuff. And I know people that code have seen my videos, and they're still not coding it. And it's almost retarded. And I've been on this Bush connection for like 6 months now, and I still don't see people posting all the Bush connections. It baffles me. They'll stay on all their other connections. It's like people stay in their own realm and they don't get information from other people and start expanding their coding. People need to take bits and pieces from everybody. Like here's an example. I saw Vic Logan, and he put up a post about the Horned Frogs in Revelation 16:13. Now I am on the number 13. All right. There's all kinds of 13s going on with everything in the world of sports. And just so you know, the world of sports blasphemes the real, true spiritual battle that's going on in the world. Okay. But when I see these numbers, his 13, it made me realize, hey, that's what's going on with this 13, 733, the 130th prime. Argentina just won, hadn't beat France in 13 years. And there's a whole bunch of other 13s. It's in every code that you see. This stuff is huge. 74 as well. But when I see this stuff, I start connecting, the Horned Frogs to Bush. There's such thing as a bush frog. I look up Jeff Gladney. It's crazy is I've got a roommate that just moved in about a year ago, and he went to high school, the same exact high school as Jeff Gladney in Texas. I live in Michigan. So the connections are unreal. Jeff Gladney also was drafted by Minnesota. And Minnesota and that whole purple and the purple rain and the Queen dying here last year at the age of 96. And this guy was born December 12th, 1996. I mean, the connections are crazy. Collapsed. That's what the guy did on that game between the Bills and the Bengals. He collapsed. And collapsed equals 33 and 156. 9/11 is the 156th prime. It was blasphemy of Jesus, who lived 33 years, died on the cross for our sins, and rose 3 days later. And what happened? He rose 3 days later, and all he cared about was who won the game.